one. Welcome to the GamePass Mappers. Hey, Spencer, can you look something up for me?
We talked about this, Alex.
That's literally the last thing you said.
The last thing I said was my setup is so tight, I can't look anything up.
You're like, so don't ask me. Sure, buddy. And then we start the episode, and I'm like, can say, Spencer, can you look something up for me?
Yeah.
I need to know. Okay. Well, thanks to Spencer's setup, his incredibly tight setup, his tight little setup, I like to call it. We will be not able to research anything throughout the episode, so we may be ill-informed. You know, we could be fake news.
Well, to be fair, what I said was I can't look anything up. Now there is a.
Yeah.
What most people don't understand is there's actually two people on this podcast. The other person maybe could look things up. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
What? Where's he at? They didn't show up. Where?
That's right. They don't. They
you mean
they tend not to show up.
You mean me?
Yeah.
You mean this guy? This guy? Oh, yeah. I can't. My dog ate my internet.
Can't and won't. Remember that, folks.
Sorry. Hey, everybody at home. Welcome to the Button Mappers. We're the Button Mappers, me and Spencer, and we're here today to decide once and for all, probably not once and for all, but it just makes it sound more dramatic, if Xbox Game Pass is worth it in the year 2025. Does it suck? Is it good? Terry, stay out of the comments. Get out! Don't even stop typing. I know you're typing right now.
Yeah.
Stop it. This isn't the episode for you.
Terry's keyboard just
we're
broke.
here. Yeah. Game Pass is the biggest scam of all time. I just imagine the minute this episode gets uploaded and like his little, you have like the YouTube notifications on your phone. Like the second his goes off, he just like has like an he just sees it on like his lock screen.
Yeah.
And he just starts frothing at the mouth.
Come on. Don't use it right. Stay in the lore
frothing
of the Button Mappers. Yeah.
Okay. He starts frothing at the mouth and like he's having like a seizure.
Yeah. Well, in my world, I like to imagine that Terry doesn't have a phone. He's like one of those people, and but he does have an iPad from 2007 or something, and he's just like, I'm fine with this.
He has an iPod Touch that like has a crack through half the screen. Going.
Yeah. He says, "Does everything
the home button?
Does everything
everything
modern phones do, but the Jews can't find me." That's what Terry says.
Did you ever have a iPod Touch or like anything like those? For some reason, I had an iPod Touch and then an iPhone 4, and those are my only two Apple products. I don't like Apple products, but for some reason, but on both of them, the first thing to go out was that little home button, the little square home button at the bottom. This is like the first thing that like went out on both, and then like I had to like there's a workaround to where if you go into the settings, you can put a little button on screen at all times, so you can just push to be your home button. And I'm like, so you knew, so you knew it was a problem that your home button was going to break, and you were like, well, instead of just making it better, we're just going to implement this stupid little touch button to get used. Yeah. I think it's been a minute since we talked about Game Pass. I know we did it at one point. We did like a community thing. Remember that? Like a couple years ago?
Oh, remind me.
We talked about Game Pass. Yeah. It's been a hot minute. So since it's been a while, I want to maybe ask like Spencer, what's your like relationship like with Xbox Game Pass? Like, do you use it? Is it something that you're interested in, regularly?
To be honest, yeah, I have it on pretty much all the time. I've I guess like 4 different groups of people that I play video games with. So we kind of rotate on like sometimes people will be like, we found a game on Game Pass we want to play, and then cool, and maybe 1 or 2 at a time we'll want to play something from it. So it's generally been helpful to just leave it on, and at what is it, $20 a month or something? I think I don't always get that value out of it, but when we do like it, like right now they've released a couple games on here that are probably worth $60. So if you can get your time out of them, I think it's worth it. I mean, we'll go in deeper, but yeah, I would say not every month I get the full $20 I think out of it, but most of the time it breaks even on it.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because out of like the current consoles, my Xbox is like my main console, and then like because I even have a PS5 and stuff now, but still, it's like I've this generation I've invested so much into like this Xbox as like an ecosystem that it's hard for me to like swap over. So I still use my Xbox as my main like home console.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is with me is that I own so many games across so many different platforms is that I don't oftentimes I feel like I'm wasting money if I just have Game Pass on and I'm not like using it much, or like I only play 1 or 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
So usually what I'll do is that I'll only subscribe if there's something that I really care about. And up until like recently, it was like a year. So I think the last time I subscribed was like I don't even know. It was like 20. I know it was 2024. It was probably like the beginning of the year at some point because I know I was playing Persona 3 at some point.
Okay.
But it's been a minute. And I'll subscribe to play games. I'll subscribe whatever like I have somebody that wants to play like something online with me because you kind of need it to play too. You don't need it, but like you could buy like the cheaper option. But if you're gonna buy it, just fucking get Game Pass because you get to play online and you get the stuff.
Yeah.
So recently it was just because the Doom: The Dark Ages came out, and I was like, okay, well, I want to play that, and I don't want to pay $70 to play it, so I'm just gonna subscribe to Game Pass and play it that way.
Yeah.
So that's why I got on there now, and I guess that's kind of what sparked this whole episode was like,
Wanting to do a
I was
review of Doom: The Dark Ages and me desperately not.
yeah. Yeah, but I was talking about playing Game Pass, and I've been playing some other stuff on Game Pass, some newer games too, and so I've been playing it, and you obviously use it, so why not? Why not talk about it and try to decide if it's worth it,
Mm-hmm.
if it's worth your time. I do agree with you. I think at one point, I remember back whenever I had an Xbox One, it was like $10 at one point, or like 15 or something. I think 20 is a more recent thing, like in the last couple of years. Um, and I agree with you. If you're not like actively playing it, like if you're not actively like playing new games or playing games for a long period of time, like you're not gonna get the value out of it, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of a waste of money in that front. So if you're gonna subscribe for $20 and just not use it, like you're just throwing away $20. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we say, I think when we were talking about it last time, we have like a different relationship with the games that we play on it too, because like I was saying that I use it in lieu of buying a game. Like I will say, well, now I don't have to buy these games. I can just play them as much as I want, and then never see them again because they phase out, or I turn off the Game Pass or whatever. But I think yours was a little bit different, right?
I don't remember. It's been a couple of
Okay.
years.
No, it's been a week. But you said that you
Oh, from last time? Oh, sorry. I thought you meant from like when the stuff
no,
before.
from last week.
Oh,
You had said that you use it as a way to like preview the games, and then you end up
yeah,
trying to buy
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. I do that. That's what last year. That's exactly what I did with Persona 3 Reload. was I know I liked Persona 5 and I like SMT games. So I was like, yeah, I want to try that. So I had Game Pass active. I played a good ways into Persona 3 on there, and then I actively stopped. I was like, okay, like I'm getting invested into this game. Like I don't want to play it anymore on here because like I was enjoying it so much. Like I just wanted to like own it and like play it that way, you know. So yeah, and in a lot of ways, I'll use Game Pass as a way to preview games, especially like newer games that maybe I'm not sure about, or and then you, most times, like with the Doom the Dark Ages, which I just played and beat on Game Pass, that one I really liked. I'm glad I didn't buy it full price because I don't know if I bought it at $70, played it, beat it over the weekend, and there's not much more to do with it right now. I'm not sure if I would have been happy with that purchase.
Mm.
So it's like, yeah, I really liked the game. I thought it was awesome. What was there, but now that I've beat it and I can kind of like look at it, it's been like a week since I beat it. I can sort of say like, yeah, I will buy this at some point when it's cheaper, like when it's on sale, which it'll go on sale eventually. So it's like, I'm gonna wait, and then I do want to own it, but just whenever there's when the time is right. But I'm glad I got to play it in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we get into it?
So, let's get into it, Spencer! All right, yeah, pump up the Game Pass. Pump it up, dude. Yeah, hell yeah. So what do you want to talk about? Just like what we've been enjoying or games we recommend or what?
Well, if we're talking about if it's worth it now, I guess we should look at the recently added and say like what are they adding right now?
What did you get adding to Game Pass? Adam Sandler, how did you get in here?
Google, Google. Adam Sandler, get out of here.
Get out!
Get out of here, Adam. Okay, so I'm just looking from left to right here on the recently added. I'm assuming we're looking at the same tab here.
Yeah.
Tales of Kenzera Zao.
Bless you.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's by EA.
It's an EA Play game. So there you go.
Here, let's look at this. Wield the dance of the shaman. Reclaim your father's spirit. Brave the beautiful and treacherous land of Kenzera with the god of death in tales.
The big beautiful land. The big beautiful treacherous land.
Uh-oh, Donald Trump is...
Adventure into the big, beautiful, and treacherous land of Zendara Zazu, the young shaman who bargains with the gods.
I mean, we got Adam Sandler on this podcast. We got Donald Trump. It's a star-studded affair.
Damn.
Okay, fuck that. That's a side scroller. All right, retro classics. Okay, I'm going to hand those ball to you because I don't like retro games, but you do. So you can talk about retro classics.
I'm open. Got it.
Nice
so retro. This came out of fucking nowhere. This just came out like last Tuesday, and I have been playing it. So it is to note that like this is actually done by the Antstream people who do the Antstream gaming service, which I do use. I have it on my Atari. Yes. And they did this for Xbox, and I think it's a cool idea because Xbox owns like so much shit now where they've just been buying stuff that like they own like Activision and they own Sierra and they own Bethesda. They own all these companies that like have been around for ages. Some of them since the 70s, as you'll see by this. So what they decided to do was make this like streaming service type deal that's included with Game Pass called Retro Classics, where they can just dump all this stuff. So right now there's like 64 games or like 61 games, somewhere around there. I know it's like 60 something. And most of them are like old Atari games because it's like all Activision stuff, and that's where they started. But there are some like DOS games, some like Sierra era DOS games, so like point and click, like Space Quest and King Quest and stuff. And a couple PS1 games like Mech Warrior 1 and 2, and I think even like a Super Nintendo game. Like really interesting idea to have all these and like not like a just like you download them and play them, but as like an active like streaming service for Xbox. And it's been fun to play because obviously like I like this kind of old junk. But also at the same time, like they have cool things they do within the and like Anstream does this as well within the games. They have these challenges where you can actually like challenge other players to, beat a certain score or like do a certain objective. Like, hey, you have one life. How far can you get? And like you'll battle it out as like a community and you'll earn like merit and like achievements based on and you can also like set challenges for the community. And you can challenge players one on one. And there's just like all sorts of cool things you can do that kind of like expand the range of these old games. Where before you'd play it once and put it down. Now, like, yeah, with like some kind of cool like parasocial like multiplayer aspect, like you're able to be like, okay, I want work on my score for Pitfall, because I want to beat the like community score for Pitfall. Like how many screens can you go in one life? It's like these old games have like a new twist on. Yes. It's fun. It's not perfect. I found some of the streaming sometimes, and I find this with Anstream as well. Sometimes it can be a little shoddy. That may just be like my internet connection though, but for the most part, it works just fine. And I think it's a neat idea. They said they're going to update it regularly, so we'll see how much they stick to that. Because again, they own so much old shit, and with them putting like PS1 games, like there's two PS1 games on here. With them doing that, they can include some cool stuff. Because again, they own like Activision, and Activision has bought stuff throughout the years too. So I mean, they like technically like they own like Crash Bandicoot. They own Spyro the Dragon. They own Tony Hawk. They own all these games that kind of defined that era of gaming too. Like they have a chance to really like make this a cool service. So we'll see what happens to it, but I think it's neat.
I'm curious what like licensing issues come into play with those cross platform opportunities, like a PS1, like a Crash Bandicoot from a PS1. Like
Yeah.
Like how exactly is that owned? Like, do they own the brand, obviously, the Crash brand, but do they own the
Yeah.
ability to stream it on a?
Do they own? Yeah. Do they own the rights to like distribute that PS1 game? I think
Yeah.
it's going to boil down to a lot of that. It's like even on like GamePass, you have like the Crash trilogy, or you have like Blizzard's another one they could also include, and they own like Diablo 2, whatever the fuck that one was called, like the remastered. But like, do they have the rights to like put the old versions of those games out in some way? Like there's a lot of questions there still, I think, with like them acquiring so much. I see an answer in it in some ways with the ways they've handled Rare. Like I kind of think about like the Crash Bandicoot games, and then I think about the fact that they've republished Banjo Kazooie games,
Mm-hmm.
and they just went in and like edited any like thing that mentioned Nintendo. They had to go in and put a Microsoft logo on instead.
Oh, did
It's
they? I
like
didn't
stuff
know
in
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
In the Banjo remasters for 360 and stuff that are also on like current Game Pass. Yeah, anytime there was an old Nintendo logo, they like painted it over with a Microsoft one. So I take it they would have to
Oh.
do something like that, or try to take those kind of provisions and have to actually like modify the games a little bit or something. But I mean they've already technically like sort of done this with all the Rare IP that they own.
Okay.
So I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
a good point.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good point. Okay.
So yeah, I'm down for this. I think it's a cool idea. Right now, I think it's cute. I mean, if you like old Atari games like me, you'll get a kick out of it. But right now, I don't really think it's like subscribing to Game Pass for this, unless you're just really nostalgic for these old ass, 2600 games or something, or DOS games. I know some people. I'm not a big Sierra guy. I know some people fucking lose it for like old Sierra games. So
Well,
if that's your thing,
when
you know,
when I see these, I think I just kind of laugh to myself, like, that this would be great for those people that like retro games, are not into emulation, and have also not bought one of the millions of packages of retro games that you sell for like $10 or $5 on any
But
available console.
no, and like right now, I don't think it's. I think this is a. But what I think this is I think this is a nice compliment. The fact that they just included this on Game
Mhm.
Pass for free,
Yeah.
as like, and it's not free, but you know what I mean. Like they just included it as like, yeah, it's here, and like you get to subscribe and stream all you want. Well,
Yeah.
as long as you have Game Pass. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean it reminds you of the Nintendo service.
yeah,
But it's obviously it's not. Well, I guess Nintendo also has a Genesis one right now.
yeah.
So I guess they do cross as well, but this one has more, I think, of an opportunity to cross a lot of boundaries. We'll see how far they take it. Be interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes. So,
Okay.
all right, we'll keep going.
Monster Train.
Do I don't know how we have to skip some of these. The fuck is Monster Train?
I'll try to
2?
give everyone the justice it deserves. Police Simulator, where you kick a black guy.
Yeah,
Firefighting Simulator.
where you kick a black guy into a fire.
Yeah.
It's the same game.
Yeah.
They just added a fire in the background.
You find that same black guy that's like beaten on the ground, and then you just kick him into a fire. Coolebra. Okay, fuck that. Doom: The Dark Ages.
Okay, well, hold on, wait, don't just skip over that because I want to say. I mean, I'm looking at the picture. I want to say something that I like about games. And Culebra, I think, is a good example of this. I like the fact that they include indie games on Game Pass, and half the time I've never fucking heard of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like this looks like that. This is some kind of like Paper Mario ass like papercraft game. And like I don't know, it looks cute. I don't know if I'll play it, but like I have throughout the years of using Game Pass, I have found so many cool indie games that like I've never would have played otherwise. So I think that's a benefit.
Okay.
Okay.
Doom, Doom: The Dark Ages.
Doom to what?
Doom the dark. I don't know. The Dark Ages. There you go.
Yeah.
You love Doom, so
I do.
We can start with you talking about Doom. You beat this?
Yeah. Yes, I did. I came out last Friday and I beat it last Sunday. I fucking ripped and tore through this game.
Hell yeah.
Quite literally. I mean, yeah, fucking, it's Doom. In fact, what one of the biggest draws for Game Pass for me now is the fact that they own Activision and this is Bethesda. And so like whenever there's something like this, like a Bethesda game that I want to play, we're pretty much guaranteed it's coming to Game Pass. You know, like there's not really a question about that anymore.
Yeah.
About like, oh, are they gonna wait? No, it's like they just put it out day and day, which I think is really nice. Because again, I got to play this. I really like this game, and I had a great time playing it. And I'm happy that I got to play it. And I kind of talked before about like down the road I do want to purchase it. But as a long time Doom fan, like I was excited. I didn't want to spend the full price, and yeah, this was a great way to do it. Fucking badass game though. It was cool.
I played it for however long it takes to beat the first level. That first level is a lot longer than I thought it would be. It just kind of kept going.
Yeah, the levels are like pretty lengthy in this game too.
It seemed so. I haven't played any of the new Dooms. The last Doom I played, hell, was probably on a floppy disk. That's about as much as I keep up with Doom. It's just it's a series that is kind of antithetical to what I like about games. Like it.
Yeah.
I think maybe the last Doom game I played was Unreal Tournament. Maybe that was the last Doom game I played. Just like a
I guess technically.
very like fast Twitch shooter, like very yeah. So going back to this, I'd always heard that people really liked the new Dooms, and I said, well, I'll boot this one up just because we're talking about Xbox. And I do see a very competent game here. There's some things I didn't expect. I got the feeling of almost like a bullet hell in it, which I wasn't expecting. So that's kind of neat that there's some little bit. I mean, not a lot, but a little bit of genre bending. Maybe they up that later in the levels. But that's kind of cool. I didn't see that coming. But otherwise, it was about what I expected. And it seems very competent, but it is not for me.
Well, what? Yeah. Well, what I think people like so much, and what I like so much about the newer games is like you sort of saw this with Doom 3. Doom 3 on like the original Xbox and PC was more like an answer to Half-Life. Like it was slower and it was more like it was more like about like the atmosphere and stuff and physics. It didn't feel like Doom. It just kind of felt like another shooter game. It was good. Like I like Doom 3, but it just kind of felt like another shooter game. But what I think people really like about the new Doom games is that they take what was fun about like that like retro Twitch style of like boomer shooters, right? Where it's all about movement and speed, and like if you stand in one place for too long, you're gonna definitely die. Like that's sort of the vibe. They take that and they translate it over to a modern setting so well to where like like things are like visually, of course, it's beautiful and like it's updated and there's new gameplay improvements and stuff, but like at its core, like it's still Doom,
Yes.
And I think that's cool. I think that's cool that they were able to do that, because a lot of series as they look, they feel and look less and less like what they started as, especially first person shooters. Like you look at fucking. I even think of like Call of Duty. Do you think of like? I think of like the early Call of Duties, which I liked those, and then I think I remember at one point they were like running on walls and like flying into space, and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It's just like it's straight. Oh, it's straight. It started straying away from like what it was really. So I respect Doom for like sticking to his guns, literally, I guess.
Well, and I think what makes the new Dooms, and I'm just gonna assume that the new Dooms follow this one in a lot of, I know that there's differences, but just in a general sense, is that the game design is based around those core values. So like it encourages you to be aggressive, and it encourages you to so like you gain health by doing these cool combos on enemies, and you gain health by doing that, which you need because they constantly shoot at you. And then like you said, if you stand still, you'll just die. So you have to move, and then even the shield has like movement stuff built into it. That's really cool. So like the game is very smartly built around the idea of what people want out of Doom, I suspect, which is brutality and speed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And fucking metal ass music.
Yeah.
It's that power trip, man. That's what it's all about.
The other game that I focused on would be much closer to my style, which is very not this game. So maybe we'll talk about that.
Hey, well, I played it too, I believe. So we'll keep going.
Okay. Revenge of the Savage Planet.
Revenge of the Savage Planet. I heard about it. Wasn't this popular a few years ago, or is this like a new? I remember hearing about a Savage Planet game not that long ago. Is this the one that was popular?
Looks like it's for babies.
Yeah.
GamePass for babies.
Not for me. Not for me.
Not for you. Just for the babies. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed.
Yeah, for the baby. No, I said that was not for me. That was for the babies. But this one actually might be for me.
Looks like it's for babies.
Yeah, but it's I don't know, man.
This is
Look
based
at
off
it.
of like the
It's
newer
got the
Ninja
speed.
Turtles, right?
The movie, yeah, the newer movie. Which you know what? Actually, not bad of a. The designs are a little weird. I actually I don't like the designs that much, but the movie wasn't bad. I don't know. I
Anything that
mean,
Seth Rogen is touching, I refuse to watch. I can't stand. Oh my god. Cancel culture. There's no cancel culture. Oh my god. I hope he just.
yeah, you can't let them ruin turtles for you, man.
Oh no, Turtles has done a great job of doing that itself. I'm 100%. That is not his fault.
Oh, you're just out of turtles now. You're just done with it.
Well, yeah,
You're
I'm
just
not
never gonna go
7.
back to turtles.
I'm not 7 years
Well, yeah,
old.
but you know what I mean. You can enjoy things, Spencer. You don't have to be 7
No,
to
be an
enjoy
adult.
turtles.
I only drink fine wine. I only
You know,
drink
drink
fine
fine
wine.
wine.
Listen to Sinatra. That's my life at this point.
Yeah,
There's a
and
room for
watch your
turtles.
'80s turtles. You watch the '80s Ninja Turtles.
This is so good. It's so dark.
Yes.
How turtles should be, you know.
My silly turtle cartoon is better than your silly turtle cartoon. Yes. Swirling your glass of
Yeah.
wine.
Turt of green wine, yeah. Uh Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, whatever.
This was a weird one. What the fuck? This is like old. Well, you know, it's like 2018 or something, but this is fucking
yeah.
old. Why is this even here?
Well, sometimes they'll rotate them in, I think. These older games.
Yeah, but like people that have already played that have probably already like people that like Dragon Ball have already definitely played that. They're on to like they've had like 3 games since then. Like
yeah.
I think literally Kakarot,
I think
Raging Blast. I think it's something like that. I don't remember.
I think some
They're on
things
some kind of like sparking one now.
I think some things are brought in just so they can say that they keep like adding to it. Like we're
They just
constantly
fill it
adding
in a little
games, and it's
bit.
like, can we do this for 20 cents?
Yeah,
Like
that one.
buy the rights to this.
That one more so than Turtles because at least that Turtle was recent. This one, yeah, kind of feels like a filler.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, yeah, we got Xenoverse 2.
Dredge is a game that a friend of mine said, you should check out Dredge. It's pretty good. And I'm reading the first line. Dredge is a single player fishing adventure with the sinister undercurrent. Do my friends just want me to have a bad time? Like, are they like insistent that like,
Dredge.
Boy, I have a game that you'll hate. This one, and then it's like, why would you recommend me a fishing?
Hey, I don't know. There's some like no. I'm looking at the thing. There's some inventory management going on.
Oh
The art style's
boy.
not bad. I don't
Oh
know.
boy, I love inventory management.
I
can't
think
wait.
this has potential. Like I've never played this, but I think again, this is one of the games. I think this would be something cool. Like it looks. That's what I like about these kind of indie games sometimes is that they just some of the ideas they have are just stuff that you would never make it to market otherwise.
You know what my favorite part of Resident
You
know what my favorite part of Resident Evil was? Is me messing around in the inventory.
I think you even like that. So don't diss the inventory because I think you said when we did the episode based on that game, I think you liked the
Resident Evil 9. Is there an inventory? Can I mix and match my herbs?
At 9? No, at 4.
I'm asking about future iterations. Will I be able to do these? Yeah. Anno 1800. I think that was from the 1800s. I think we can move on from that. Call of Duty. That's like packaged in, but I guess they have Modern Warfare 2. Far Cry 4.
I guess they just added. I think it's just a PC one. They just added. Yeah. Woo! Yeah! Far Cry 4. Welcome back, 2013 or whatever the fuck. We're back.
Recently added. That should have been built in, shouldn't it? That's a.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe not. No, maybe not.
I've noticed the Ubisoft games just kind of come and go. Like at one point they had I think they're both gone, but they had both of the newer Rainbow Six games on here, and they're gone now. because I remember playing Extraction when it came out with Axel Wolf. Yeah, so like the Ubisoft, they have their own hilarious game service
Oh God, yeah.
that nobody cares about.
Don't get me
if
started on that shit.
Look, I don't like to shame anybody, but if you subscribe to the fucking Ubisoft service, whatever the hell it's called, UB playing games, you're a fucking idiot. What the fuck's wrong with you?
No good.
Those games come to Game Pass, they come to the PlayStation 1, and they go on sale all the damn time. Why are you subscribing to that? Wasting fucking money.
I imagine nobody is, or it's very low because they like you said they just come on these and then immediately go on sale.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess that nobody's doing it, and if you are,
like,
I pray for you.
I mean, I guess maybe if they have the new games when they come out, like the new Assassin's Creeds or whatever when they come out, but like, I don't even know if they do. You know, I imagine they wouldn't. That would probably hurt the sales.
Yeah. I don't know. Towerborn looks like a game I'd play. A looter,
I think I've heard of this.
A looter brawler combining side-scrolling combat with action RPG loop progression and customization.
Oh, this doesn't look bad. Shouldn't look bad at all.
I like the art. It'd be like an arcade kind of brawler.
Oh, I might actually check this one out.
If it's I think it's multiplayer, so I'd play it with you.
Yeah, I'll have to find somebody to play it with.
Wow, that was so rude.
I'll have to see if one of my friends is interested in playing it.
Oh my god, that is so rude.
I know. I mean, I'm a dick this morning.
Jesus. All right, Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Never heard of that shit. All right, what's next? Yeah. Oblivion.
Did you skip Expedition 33? I'm playing it.
Lead the members of Expedition 33 on their quest to destroy the paintress so she can never paint death again. Just paint life. Explore.
I have to say,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm in Act 1. I don't know if you play it. I'm in Act 1 of Expedition 33, and I have to say, I think it's a cool game, and I understand all the hype, but I also have no fucking idea what's happening half the time, and I had to turn down the music because the music is obnoxious. It's like obnoxiously loud. It's like all like piano and violin, but for some reason it's like at points I felt like it was like almost louder than the dialogue, you know, which I think is supposed to be like to make the game more emotional, but that doesn't make a game more emotional. That just makes me mad that the music is too loud. People look, controversial take again. I'm enjoying the game and the battle mechanics are great. The game like visually is like very striking, but people are like, "Oh man, the best soundtrack in years!" Oh my god, I don't think gamers listen to like piano music because the soundtrack's good, but like you know, it's just because it has like piano and violin. They're like, "Oh my god, it's the best soundtrack in ages." And I'm like, "What?" Like, I mean, do you not listen to like other instruments?
Well, I think what we're getting is an influx of gamers that don't usually play these kinds of games, so they may have some newer insights or fresh insights into this that other gamers have experienced plenty of. No, I'm in Act 1 too. I'm at the part where they have an overworld map, and I'm just kind of walking around.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet. I beat Doom, and then I worked a week, so I've only played a little bit. I've been playing another game too. We're going to talk about. So
okay.
I'm still getting there, but I've liked what I've played though.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's good. Yeah, the music. I don't know. I know. I guess I don't worry as much about music. 'Cause I tend to ignore it. Uh, but it seems fine. I kind of get what's going on, but it's weird. It's like I guess they're going on an expedition to kill the paintress,
Yeah. I
which
mean,
is
and
funny.
there are elements of the narrative so far that I like. I really liked the scene where you got to where they're like, "Bye on the expedition," they're like, "See ya," and then they get there, guy, then they're like, "What the fuck?" And then like they just all start getting attacked, and shit
Mm.
just goes sideways. I thought that was a brilliant hook for like the opening of a JRPG, because usually that's not. Usually in like a JRPG, that's not. I guess this isn't a JRPG. It's just like an FRPG. It's a
Well,
French game, right?
that's the
But like,
funny part of it is that I constantly hear it being called a JRPG, and it's like
uh,
the one
no,
definition of it is that it is not a JRPG. It's
you no, you can tell. I can tell by the way that they like interact, even like their facial expressions. I can tell that this is a Japanese.
mhm.
You know, there's a lot of like giveaways that like this was like a French developed game. Has some of that French stank on.
Yeah, and
But
it's cool that it includes it does kind of feel like they managed to make it feel like Dark Souls while it's a turn-based RPG. So I
yeah,
appreciate that. It gives it like its own unique flavor. I was worried because I don't really um like turn-based games that have button responses. Uh
mm,
I do like the Mario and Luigi games, but they're very like clear as to what to do. Like it's not very ambiguous. So you're not left like there aren't very many moments in those games where you go, I swear I dodged that. Like I swear that
yeah.
I moved out of the way because it's very much
Well,
like
usually, it's in those, it's like more playful. In those, it's
right.
like you see a fucking Koopa about to kick a shell at you, and you go, "Ready?" you know.
Well, there's that
Yeah.
and your characters you're not necessarily dealing in iframes with that. You're dealing
Yeah.
with like the way that they translate it, it just plays like a Mario game where your character jumps and you know the physics and the distance and the length of the jump. Whereas these games, I get nervous because it's like it's really just did you push the button at the time that the game requires you to in that window, and you're just kind of like, well, I know it by memorization, and I know that at this point it will do it. So it's just muscle memory at that point, which I don't like. But this game, at least so far, and well, games that failed on that, by the way, are, in my opinion, are the original Mario RPG, and there's a game on the PS1. Why the fuck can't I remember it? Legend of Dragoon. That one to me is bad, and I like the game in
What's
general.
the other one I played like that? It was Lost Odyssey. You ever played
Mm,
Lost Odyssey
I never played it.
on
I
the
hear all
360?
the nerds talking about that game, and I just don't
Yeah,
play the
it's the
game.
best game ever. It's the best game. No, I mean it's good. But like, yeah, that one had the same kind of like inputs with things. I remember that might have been one of the first turn-based games I played that had that.
Yeah. Uh, but this game does it well enough that I haven't. I've felt comfortable doing it. So kudos to them. I was nervous about it,
Are
but
you
it's fine.
see it through? Do you think you can see through the expedition?
Here's the deal. Side tangent. I'm currently also trying to beat Metaphor ReFantagio.
Oh, you're still on that?
I got to so I'm playing it on hard, and I got to a point where I have to grind, and I don't mind grinding, but the way that that game is played, I have to grind characters in a direction that I will not be taking them, but they have to level up in a certain way that will meet the requirements for this boss specifically.
Mm.
And I am like my brain wants to do literally anything else than play that, than do that grind. So like, and then Expedition 33 comes in and it's like, oh yeah, don't you want to keep going? I'm like, I do. but I really need to beat that game for my other channel. So I will not
Yeah.
at the moment be continuing, but it will be on my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
I plan to play some more. I don't know if I'll see it, but I more so played this one because, and I kind of just wanted to like experience some of it because I knew it was like such a different game than what we usually get, especially for RPGs. Like I just wanted to like see what was up. So I have been liking it, but I'll see if I actually want to play through it. Um, but it's cool. I'm glad I've gotten to experience.
Yeah.
So.
Oblivion. This one dropped out of nowhere.
Yeah. Um. How do I say this without pissing everybody off? I respect Elder Scrolls and Bethesda and their legacy, and I understand the impact of this game, of the original and its importance. I'm not playing this. I have no interest in playing this. Not my style. Not my thing.
I think we're kind of in agreement on that one. Is like I understand that they're good and that for a certain style of gamer, this game really clicks. Or this style, it's like Skyrim and all these Elder Scrolls and we can lump Fallout into that. But every time I've tried to play one of these, I've never had like a complaint about them other than the characters are ugly as fuck. Um, but other than that, it's been like, okay, this is good. And then usually what happens is I'll get out of the starting area and then go to a town. And then I'll just kind of put the controller down and I'm like, okay. I think I've had enough. And then that's about
Yeah.
it. I just never go back. I have no interest in it. So I don't know.
It's true. The original Oblivion and Skyrim. I've tried many times. Um, fuck, I've tried Skyrim. I've tried Skyrim. I don't know how many times on fucking 360, on PS4, on PS4 VR, on Switch. I've never been able to get. I don't know what it is. I just can't do it.
Mhm.
I just these games to me are built for the kind of people that go on to GTA Online, go on to like other open games like that, just grind away forever, like doing the most simple things. Because that's what I always found about Skyrim was that, like, yeah, it was like impressive that like voice acted and like I could walk around and like take quests and do whatever, but like I didn't really like I didn't have a sense of purpose. You know what I mean? I just kind of existed. Like I didn't care about what was
Yeah.
happening.
I think sometime in this era, and I'm talking about the Xbox 360 era, they created a type of gamer. I think,
Yeah.
you know, tell me I'm wrong, but it's called. I call it the checklist gamer, and it's gamers that are totally cool if you just hand them a list of things to do and they just have to do them. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's weird that became such a thing, and I think some gamers that still exists. It's morphed, but some companies have literally not grown beyond that concept. Like Ubisoft is like,
Ubisoft.
yeah, it's like every time you play an Ubisoft game, it's like, okay, here's an expansive open world, and then you look at the map and it's just littered with
Yeah.
basically checkboxes. And you just
It's
go
like, can you find all of the towers? And it's like, why should I find all the towers?
yeah, I know. Like we would jump into that game and be like, why do I want to find those towers? And then we look if it were like an online game, we'll look to our right and there's people that are like foaming at the mouth just running into the map. And that's those gamers that really like that. And I think both of us
Yeah.
are not not that. It's like why?
Yeah,
I
it's
couldn't
not
give
for
two
me.
shits about that. Why would I
So I do watch a Twitch streamer and she was playing some of this when it came out. I'm like, I appreciated it from a technical standpoint, like the fact that for one, I appreciate the fact that they just made this and then just dropped it out of nowhere. Like they, this seems like something because obviously they were working on it for a while. This seems like something they could have milked, right?
Yeah.
Be like an Oblivion remaster, and go to KFC and get a chicken bucket and you get a remaster code, like that kind of shit. But no, they just did it, and they just dropped it, and it obviously paid off for them. And yeah, I've watched a little bit of the game. And it's cool. Like it's impressive looking the way they were able to master it, and I imagine that people that grew up playing Oblivion back in 2008 or whatever, I imagine this is like their wet dream of a game, to have. So I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I have a suspicion about why they did it that way, where they stealth dropped it, because
What?
I feel like if they had actually campaigned this game and made it like a big deal, there would be two huge complaints. Like, I think it would be destroyed. Like, a trailer would be destroyed on YouTube for two reasons. One, because they've remastered Skyrim so many times, and now everyone's just going to assume they're going to do that with this game, which they probably will. And two, they announced Elder Scrolls 6. What? Like,
Oh yeah,
6 years ago
or
8 years ago?
Yeah,
So,
long time ago.
yeah, and they still haven't come out with it, so they would just be like, Elder 6 when? It would just
Holy
be
shit! I think it was 8 years ago.
So I would guess that they're like, let's just not market it because the marketing will kill it, and let's just release it, and people will be like, whoa, that's so nice of them. It's like,
Well, and honestly, I mean, again, Doom: The Dark Ages was that for me, but like what was this? But honestly, I think also like the Bethesda guys just needed a win. They just really needed a win because I don't know about the Indiana Jones game. I don't know how well that did, but recently it's like Starfall was supposed to be like, or whatever the hell it's called, Skyfall. That's James Bond. What the fuck is that game called? Star something. Starfield. That game was supposed. Yeah, that game was supposed to be like a revolutionary title. It was a bit of a wet fart.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Redfall, which we played, which didn't get the best reception, and then they had the whole thing with Tango Gameworks getting closed down, which is like the only talented group still there. After the failure of Hi-Fi Rush, which is like one of the best Xbox games in recent years. They got shut down and then bought out by I think they're with PUBG people now. But yeah, it was like, yeah, they really needed a win with the Bethesda guys because they weren't. And then before that, it was Fallout 76, right? It's like they really needed something. They weren't. They had been on a losing streak for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it's been kind of bad over there.
Okay, the rest of the games that I see here, we'll ignore Call of Duty Warzone because who cares?
Yeah.
So we have Tempopo, Crime Scene
sure
Cleaner, which I should probably play.
Oh, you mean me on a Thursday night?
SpongeBob SquarePants: The Patrick Star Game.
Hey, I've actually got this one downloaded. I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to. I know what this one was before I got GamePass. It's you ever played Goat Simulator?
No.
Where it's just like stupid. Goat Simulator is just like the dumbest game possible. It's like a sandbox, but like everything's stupid and like you just fuck around. That's basically what this is. They did a SpongeBob.
Okay.
Perfect. And I can go fuck around like Bikini Bottom as Patrick and like do stupid. Like they have like purposely like broken physics and stuff in the game where you can just kind of mess around. It's just a dumb game like so.
Okay. Again, SpongeBob is out of my age bracket, so
yeah.
Me no SpongeBob. Grand Theft Auto 5 stuff.
Why? I thought this was already on game.
I don't know.
What?
But it's here. Maybe they're getting people excited for the Grand Theft Auto 6.
For 6. They're like, hey, we have to wait another. So here's 5 some more.
Hunt.
I guess.
Hunt Showdown, 1896.
Crytek.
Yeah, interesting.
Never heard of that. I mean, I know Crytek, but never heard of this game. Huh.
It's a new era of the addictively unforgiving extraction shooter. Oh my god.
What?
Remember how popular?
No, I haven't played it.
Remember how popular extraction shooters became? That was going to be the new thing.
Yeah, I just talked about one, Rainbow Six Extraction.
I don't think that's an extraction shooter.
It's in the name, Spencer. It's a shooter and it's called Extraction.
Moving on. Blueprints.
Yeah, I have this one ready to go. I haven't started it. This one's been getting a lot of praise. So apparently, it's like your uncle left you this mansion that like shifts, and you only get to keep it if you get to find like a room that has the deed or something, like the 46 or whatever. But so it's like a puzzle game where everything in your environment is a puzzle, but it's also roguelike. So it's every time you play, it's a different experience. Apparently, this is getting a lot of praise. So
Okay.
I do have this one ready to go. I have this one ready. Want it like it sounds cool. It sounds different, than what's other games on the market. And like I don't play that many these kind of like environmental puzzle games, but like that's a coolness. So yeah, this one I do have ready to go.
I may try that this
I
because
haven't played.
I'm a huge escape room guy. I love
Yeah, I think
escape
this
rooms.
might be up your this may be up your alley, dude. Again, I've heard people that like there's so much content in this game apparently, and it's like kind of roguelike. I've heard people in like podcasts and like reviews talk about it, and they've mentioned like being like 100 hours in, and they're like, I don't know if I've seen all the game yet. Like I don't know if I've seen everything the game has to offer, and I'm like that's reassuring and also terrifying. But like I don't know, that sounds cool. Like I don't know, most of these kind of like little puzzle games like this, I think of like a throwaway. Like most of these kind of games are like they last for like an hour to like 3 hours, right? And it's like, oh well, that was cool, and you got to put it down. But having one like this that like seems like it actually has like a good depth of content, like yeah, I'll try that out.
Yeah. All right, so those are the new games.
You forgot about Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah, I did, huh?
Yeah, well.
What games have you played this year?
um, wait, like just on Game Pass this year? Just
No,
because
Alex,
this is
on
my only time having
anything.
Game
On
Pass.
anything.
Well, this is. I told you this is my first.
That's the
Do you
point.
mean?
So then we're essentially reviewing it as a more of like a for the year kind of piece. And this has
Okay.
been it for you for the year.
Yeah, I have the other with the other game of um which came out I think last year. I think. Let me look. It is Hellblade 2. I missed this one when it came out. Again, it was a game. Yeah, it came out last year. Actually, this time last. Jesus Christ. It's been a year. It came out this time last year. I was excited for it. I liked Hellblade. But again, I didn't have Game Pass. I wasn't subscribing for a while, so I never bought it or never got around to playing it. And I'm only now getting to play it. The original Hellblade was kind of cool because it's a game by Ninja Theory, but it's kind of like it was kind of independently made by them. They didn't really have backing for it originally, and it was like an independent. I think people called it a triple I, not kind of like it wasn't triple A because it didn't have funding, but it was still like of that quality. It was
Mm-hmm.
like triple I, which is very weird to say, but it was a cool like narrative driven game. You're going through like the depths of hell, and I really liked that game. And so the second one I was very excited for. I was watching like whenever they would show like the behind the scenes of them doing like the mocap and stuff. A few games like this I think really catch my attention that have like a narrative aspect like this. Like it kind of reminds me a little bit of like some of the Last of Us games where they feel more like playing a movie than really playing a game. Um, so I didn't get to play this one until now, and I have to say, like, this game is fucking great so far. I'm only a little ways in, but I've gone through a few different set pieces. I don't want to talk about the story because if you want to play it, I mean that's the only thing the game has for it. There's not really, but these two games, there's not really like gameplay, outside of puzzles and like a little bit of combat. It's mainly the narrative that you're there for. Um, I like it so far a lot. There's been some really cool like moments, some really tense moments, and I've been playing this one, and I did the first one as well with headphones because they really recommend that because like the game is all about being in Senua's like psyche, and you get to hear like her inner thoughts, they like whisper to you and stuff as you play. So playing it with headphones is great because it like really immerses you into the narrative and like puts you in like Senua's shoes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really like it so far. I see it got some good scores. I never heard it much though last year, which was surprising because I remember the first Hellblade got talked a lot when it came out. So I was kind of nervous going into it, but I've been really liking it. So you know, Expedition 33 and this are two other games.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that you don't that you didn't think it has a lot going for it outside of the story. I thought the gameplay was really good for Hellblade.
It's it's streamlined though. You know what I mean? Like it's like yeah, like nobody's playing it for those elements. Like it's good. Like I like the combat and I like the puzzles, but nobody's saying like, yeah, the story's fine, but I'm there. You know,
Well,
like you know, it's those elements to me always like the you know with these two games, like they were there to like supplement the narrative,
hmm.
and they work, and they are enjoyable, yeah. But you know, I can also see a version of Hellblade 3 where they scale back a lot of that stuff, you know, and it still works because that's not really why you're there.
I I disagree. I thought that the genius of Hellblade was the integration of it. Like at times the combat felt a little bit sloggy,
Mm.
but I think that that tied into the concept of her um like trying to fight through without going too deep into it, her issues. And I don't know, I just felt that they really were hand in hand and cooperated. I didn't think that it was like I didn't look at it as like we have this story we want to tell and the combat is secondary to it. I thought they were very well interwoven with each other, and I thought that's
Mm.
what made it so great.
I, I
I think if you strip away the combat, it wouldn't be as good.
I will say that I think above other narrative-driven games that I've played by like other studios, sometimes I'm trying to think of like the like Supermassive. They did like Until Dawn, those Dark Pictures games and stuff, and like other games like that, like Don't Nod and their gay story games, like Life is Strange and
Yeah.
stuff. I do think that like other narrative games, I don't think like I think Hellblade is definitely a big step up from those when it comes to gameplay. Like you know, I much prefer what they got have going on in these games than those games where it's literally like if there's an action sequence, it's literally like it's a quick time event or something,
Hmm.
or it's like some sort of branch or something, whatever it is. Like, yeah, I feel like this is the better way to do it. Have you played two yet?
No, no, like you, like it was weird that
Okay.
it came out. I didn't even know it came out. Like I was looking forward to it, and then it just seemed like radio silence. And then when a friend, literally probably like 3 weeks ago, a friend was like, "I think I'm gonna try Hellblade 2," and I said, "Oh, did that ever come out?" And he was like, "Yeah, like about like last year." I was like, "What? Really? I had no
Yeah,
idea."
it's been a year.
That's so crazy to me.
uh,
Because yeah, the first one was great. I
there
loved it.
there's a moment. What I really like about these games too is that their ability to like they kind of like they're kind of claustrophobic and
Hmm.
in a lot of moments, which I think works, and especially for the character. And there's a moment in this where again I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll just say like you're stuck in this like pit with this death cult, and you're like trying to like maneuver around without them being without being seen, and then you end up in like the middle and like you're having to fight your way. Which one of my favorite things about Hellblade as well is that like Senua doesn't feel like she's not Kratos. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't feel like it's like she feels like she could die.
Hmm.
So like I was in this big battlefield with these like cultists that are like trying to kill me, and I'm fighting them off with the sword, and and I'm just like dodging and slashing, and Senua is just like rah! Ah! Like these screams, like guttural screams that she's fighting and stuff. and there was like smoke all around me. I can barely see where like the next person's coming from, and I was like, God damn, this is a good fucking scene. I was like, holy shit, this is intense. It was good. Like most combat sequences like that in a game like that aren't that good. You know, most time it is like a quick time event or something, but like no, it's great. It works. It works really well.
My only confusion with this one is that I don't know, I felt closure with the first Hellblade, and from a narrative
It's a
perspective.
different.
Oh, it's a different person.
It's a. It's it, no. It's still Sabua, but it's different. It doesn't. They reference. There's even like a little like thing you can watch in the beginning. That's like a recap of what happened in the first game, but it's not really like a continuation of the first game's story. It's more so doing its own thing with the character going in. She's basically on like another adventure, you know.
Well, right, but that's kind of my point. Is that it's like
It's
a.
cool.
Well, that's kind of my point
No,
though. Is it's like
no.
a.
I totally get what you're saying.
It's like now we're
Like,
dealing with insomnia. Like I don't know. It's like this poor girl. Like I
well,
feel bad for her.
well, one thing that they do as well and help me too, and it's probably because like they had a bigger budget where stuff was actually funding this one. Is that there's more characters than just Senua in the story.
Mm.
Whereas in the first game, it was really just Senua, you know, and they mentioned other characters, and you'd hear like voiceover of other characters, you know, but there's like actual other people in the narrative.
Okay.
The stakes somehow the stakes feel higher in this one, but yeah, I think it works. I think I it got good reviews, but like I think part of the reason why I haven't heard you talk about it is because of what you're talking about is the fact that like the first game kind of came out, it had a great narrative, and then it had closure, and it was like it was such a hard hitting story, and then the second one it has a little bit of that like sequel itis going on where it's like, well, it's Senua, like we have to use her again, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm happy that like they decided to like just do another thing and like not try to branch off the first game, you know.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it. So,
Is that the only other game you played this year from Game Pass?
um, on Game Pass itself, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything that I played that's just on Game Pass. Let me look. I don't know. I mean, I played a little bit of Persona 3 again, you know, on my PS5. If you want to count that, because that's on there. It's on Game Pass. uh, other than that, no, not yet. I'm looking. There's some other games I want to play, but
I can
no.
list mine. So mine are some of these aren't. They're on my list here, but I go back and forth between PC and console, so some of them aren't on here. But I have 33 Immortals I played. It's cartoonish looking, over the top, or isometric action RPG. That it's really unique in concept. I don't know that they really hit what I was hoping for, but essentially you're playing a series of raids, like in a MMORPG, like a World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy, and you're doing it with 33 people. And as the raid continues, you know, people will die and then they'll drop out, and you're just trying to last through the entire thing. And then you gain loot, you gain experience for certain things, and then you do it again, and you keep grinding and pushing your character forward. It's a unique idea, and in some ways it exceeds, but I think it's held down by a low budget, so it just doesn't really pop out to me. But it's a cool idea. Oh, Orcs Must Die, Death Trap. I'm a huge fan of tower defenses, and this is Orcs Must Die is a big series for me. I love it. It's multiplayer and it's third person, so you lay traps on the map, and then you can also shoot the orcs, and it's very jokey and comical, and it's just satisfying just to see them die in like a death trap. In this game, they took it in a slightly different direction, where it's more of like roguelite-esque, and every level they get randomizers, which I like. But it's also less focused on mazing, which I don't like. I love mazing. Um, and you don't really do that as much in these. You got to be a little bit more strategic with it, I guess is what I mean. It was not my favorite Orcs Must Die, but it is fun. RoboQuest is a surprise hit of my Game Pass this year. I played it with a friend, and it's not a game like I would like because it's. I was telling my friend who recommended that I do play Doom, um, and I said I think RoboQuest is like the Doom that I like. It's a first-person shooter. It's very twitchy. It's extremely roguelite-ish, and you essentially go into this world as a robot, and you get to your guns are randomized. You just pick whatever they give you, and then you run in there and just try to make it through all the levels. And your path can change based off of decisions you make. The art style is very cartoon, like cell shady, almost Borderlands ish. Um, it's
Yeah.
bullet helly. It was fantastic, and it's co-op, so you can play it with your friends.
Looks yeah, I'm gonna try that one. That one looks sick.
I adored it, and I got very addicted. The music, I'm not usually a music guy, but it is so finely tuned with the gameplay. It's like a EDM pump to it that it just the flow for whatever reason really clicked with me. Not anything I would listen to outside of the game. I just think it complements the game very well. But yeah, I loved it. I had a great time with it. So RoboQuest, I highly recommend. Escape Academy, I didn't get to play. I wanted to play it with a friend, and it just didn't work out. Orcs Must Die 3, again, love Orcs Must Die. Wargroove, I played. It's like
Ooh,
if Advance Wars was medieval. I didn't like it. I don't know. I don't think I've grown with
I've played
Advance
the
Wars.
first.
Okay. Yeah.
I've played the first one. The first War Groove I have on Switch. I see War Groove 2 here. So I did see it available. Interested in maybe trying it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought the first War Groove was cute. It was like
In
a cute love letter, I think. But
Yeah, in playing it, I realized I probably wouldn't like Advance Wars anymore. So that kind of rules out that. I think I just like Fire Emblem, which is Advance Wars, but you level the characters up, and so
and you
now,
can go to school.
well, that's newer Fire Emblem. I prefer the older Fire Emblems. Yeah, where you're not like a pervert that's exploiting children. So yeah, that's the Fire Emblem I like. And then I played Trials of Mana, which I actually enjoyed. I didn't get to play Legend of Mana. I would like to, but I was doing more Trials of Mana. Very fun. It's a remake of the older game, and I like the Mana series, so it's fun. Overcooked I played last year. So this year I did play a decent chunk. There's some games on my console that I have as well. I don't remember which ones. But as you can see, yeah, I play with random people various games that they want to play, and I think it's been
Yeah.
a okay year
Well,
for it.
I was looking through, and there's a few games on here that I did play, but a couple of them I played on PS5. So I guess I can talk about that for a second. Recently, I didn't think about this. Of course, recent because it's a free to play, but I guess it counts. I did play a little bit more of Halo Infinite. I go back to that one sometimes just to play the online, you know. And it's still fun. I was kind of mad they took away my favorite mode. It was Fiesta, which is the 4-on-4 mode where you load in with random loadout,
Hmm.
um, which is just chaos. That's my favorite mode to play because everybody it's chaos, but everyone's on an equal field. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you load in and you don't know what.
Yeah.
That's I went to play the other day and that was just gone. And I was like, God damn it, Fiesta was my favorite. So, I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's all these online games are just trying to be esports games. Which, hey, everybody, if you're all trying to be esports games, none of you are be esports games. Um, the two that I played on PS that are included on Game Pass are both EA games. I played Dead Space, the remake. I played that on PS5 earlier this
Wait,
year.
but
Thought
why
it
are
was
you
really
talking? If you played on PS5, why are you talking about it here?
because it's on Game Pass. So I just kind of want to mention them because I do think they're two games that, like, if you are interested in them, you could play on Game Pass if you. So I don't know. I thought it'd be worth throwing my hat in the ring.
Okay.
I played Dead Space remake. I thought it was good. This came out I think last year as well, or maybe year before. Yeah, it was 2023. I didn't get to play it. I finally picked it up, and I like the original Dead Space. I like Dead Space 1 and 2, not really 3. So I was kind of worried that they were going to ruin it with a remake, but it's actually really good. It's closer to like how Resident Evil remakes, I think, were darker and like it's kind of scarier than the original, and I was enjoying that. And yeah, so I mean, if you like Dead Space, I mean, there's that. And then also, I played not as much because I've been playing a lot more of another game, but I did pick up and play some of Grid Legends. I like racing games, and Grid Legends is by Codemasters, who's a pretty legendary like racing game developer. And I haven't played it as much, but Grid Legends I think is good. It has something really interesting, which is why I wanted to play it. Is like it actually has a single player story mode where you play through basically a racing documentary with live action actors and stuff.
Oh, weird.
And they're talking about like recruiting a new racer, and like you actually go through the races that they talk about, and like this like career mode. And of course there's like other modes to play, but like that's a really interesting concept racing game. And also, I mean, the racing itself is just solid. Again, it's Codemasters, and Grid and Dirt have been around for ages. They're like legends in that field. But yeah, this was a cool game so far, and I really like the fact that like there's most racing games, including Gran Turismo 7, which I'm playing right now, so I play Forza and stuff. Most of those games just kind of give you like they give you a career mode, but it's usually like in like the not counting Gran Turismo. Forza Horizon. Forza Horizon is, but the basic Forza and like Gran Turismo games, basically they usually drop you in. And, okay, here's races, here's cars to buy, like here's things to do, go play, and usually that's enough. But with this, I was like, oh, this is cool that like they're actually trying to like invest me in this like story to like keep me racing. Like that's a neat idea that I don't know. I've seen a lot of other like sim racers try to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate that. So if you're into sim racers, like I think that like it's on Game Pass, so you know get a kick out of playing.
Yeah.
So
Well, I guess we should answer the question of do we think that Game Pass is worth it for 2025? And I guess there's a couple ways to look at it. Obviously, it's a $20 subscription. You get an option. I mean, not an option really. You get both to play it on PC and console,
and mobile too. Technically, you can stream it to your phone and stuff.
Well, but is that specific to? Is that because I know the libraries are slightly different? Is that specific?
I think it is a little bit different. I think it's mainly the console library different.
Okay,
On
interesting.
mobile, but still, I mean, it's like portable.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've played a little bit on my Steam Deck that way. So
So yeah, what are your thoughts on it for this year?
I think that Game Pass, if you are interested in playing releases, or you're not really interested in like building a gaming library but just playing games, I think Game Pass is definitely worth it. If you have an Xbox or a PC and you just want to get in and play games, play multiplayer, whatever it is. I mean, if you're gonna play multiplayer, you might as well, especially if you're. But in terms of like overall, do I think it's a good value? I think it is if it's your sole source of gaming. If like that's what you're going to be using to play all of your games, yes, definitely it's worth it. If you're like me and I spend time on like my Xbox, and then I may play my PS5 for a while, then Switch, and then whatever Steam Deck. If you go back and forth playing different consoles or different environments like that, I don't think it's worth keeping because you're not going to get they're not going to put enough time in to really make that purchase matter. Even if which I probably won't subscribe again. I may do next month. We'll see how long I play Hellblade 2. Expedition 33. But beyond that, like, if I were to subscribe for another 2 months and I don't play that many games, I at that point I should have just bought Doom. You know, it's like it wouldn't have made it doesn't make any sense financially at that point
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not using it. If I'm not, so I think you really have to, like, you have to be able to, like, playing these games almost like weekly at some points to really make it worth the $20 asking price.
Yeah, I think Game Pass in and of itself is kind of a conundrum. It's almost like fighting against its own value in that, like if you take Expedition 33, right? So a great game, and the fact that you get it for $20 for that month is phenomenal. It's definitely a $60, and then if you go modern gaming, it probably higher cost game. Very, very good. You'll definitely get that out of it. But the thing is, I think with a lot of those kinds of games, you're only really you're competing with the idea that you could keep it forever, and therefore you can take your time beating it. But you have to really, like you said, you have to be playing those actively and constantly. Which, ironically, I feel like this service is really for people that aren't like hardcore gamers, that don't like want to have these games and are like okay with losing them. But the, the biggest games that go on here are like very long game, like Bethesda games that they're supposed to take like 100 hours to beat, and hell or well, not Expedition 33, which is I think 40 hours, which is also kind of a long time to expect for a non-gamer to sit through an like turn-based
Yeah.
RPG. So it's
Or like
almost
recently they added, because they own Activision now, and it's like that's another one that's like, yeah, you should just probably just buy
they
that.
added what? What did they add?
Diablo 4, which is like, yeah, it's like you should probably just buy that if you want to, because it's long. It's gonna take you a while.
Yeah, so it's like, so to really get the value out of it, and you also have to take into the account that you don't own the game. So in a way, the value is lesser that way too. So to get really the most out of it, you have to actually spend a lot of time playing, more so than you probably would have otherwise. The only other caveat I can add to that is if you're playing it with friends, that I think adds an exponential amount of benefit to it, because now you have like a guaranteed shared ecosystem with them and the ability to click a game and decide to play it. So then it's not a matter of like, this new game came out, who's getting it? Like, are you getting it? And if you're gonna get it, are you gonna get it on Steam? Are you gonna get it on PS5? And even if it has crossplay, now you have to make sure the chat can still work. You can get the chat working for everybody and all this. You can just say, you know what, shared ecosystem is on the Xbox. Everyone knows it. We're good, and we are guaranteed to get it because it's on Game Pass. So, yeah,
Everyone knows it. Everyone loves it.
yeah. Donald Trump approved.
I think there is an interesting angle though, is the fact that we're sort of in a turbulent period for gaming where we're seeing a rise of price.
Yes.
I think Xbox just recently announced that their Series S is going up to 400 or 450 or something like that. X is going up as well in price, and games I'm sure follow. So if they keep Game Pass at $20 throughout all this, I do think that's a value, because games are going to get to a point soon to where they're going to be. I mean, they're already almost there now with the games are being like $70, but where that's a lot of money to drop on a game all of a sudden. So
They won't.
just yeah,
I guarantee you they'll raise the price.
you think? I think if it goes up to 30, I think it's cooked. Honestly, I think it's done. I don't think people are going to want to subscribe for that much. For $30, that's a lot to ask for this. 20 was already kind of pushing it. You know what I mean?
20 is pushing it.
Like
25.
because like I said,
Yeah.
but before it was like 15, I think, or like 10 to 15, somewhere around. Maybe 12. I think it might be $12. But yeah, it's asking a lot for that. So I don't know.
Well,
I think it's in their best interest to keep it at 20.
you have to look at it
Honestly.
from inflation as well. So we're
Yeah.
saying right now 30 seems unreasonable. But in 2 or 5 years,
Yeah.
depending on how
When
inflation
when
goes.
games when games are $80.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
well,
I guess.
Nintendo's doing 90, aren't they?
Yeah, when games are $90.
It's like, Jesus.
I
30
guess
don't sound so bad all of a sudden.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
No,
know.
and like I said,
It's worth it for a very specific person or for very specific use cases. In general, I don't think most people should have it on forever. I think most people should have it on for a game that they like, and then turn it
yeah.
off.
Well, and I still think it has value over the PlayStation. We could talk about that at some point too. The PlayStation One, they don't put their games out day one. You know what I mean? They just
And that's a good point, and I
like
think there's something to be said there because when we talked about the games that we played on Game Pass, it's interesting to note that we barely talked about Microsoft games.
yeah. I mean, I talk about Hellblade. I guess Doom and Hellblade are technically
Well, no,
Microsoft games.
but those are published by different people. They're owned by Microsoft, but Microsoft is like
yeah.
Halo and Gears of War.
What is a Microsoft game?
Yeah, it's like Halo and Gears of War. And those properties
do they exist?
Those properties are like might as well be dead. Like nobody cares about them.
Gears is getting a thing. They're
Right,
doing,
but nobody cares. Like nobody's talked about it at all.
That's true. That's true. But there's that Gears remasters coming to PS5, which is still weird to say.
Yeah.
Then Gears E Day is still in the works. It's still supposed to be coming soon. And then you know what also is weird? I don't know how I feel about this, but I saw the other day that they are doing a Gears of War movie for Netflix. And I was like, okay, 2007.
Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome to the
Yeah, well, that's what I mean is that I'm not saying that their games aren't coming out. I'm saying that nobody cares, and that's like a difference between Sony and Microsoft.
Halo, well, and like Halo's here, but it's free to play. Well, like you could, like Halo's still a thing. Like with Infinite, they still support that, and it still gets updated regularly.
Mm-hmm.
You get 2 seasons of content, but it's a free to play multiplayer game. I mean, I guess you can play the story mode, like. I don't know.
But again, the point is that nobody cares. But no,
nobody cares.
Sony has their games have a lot of value. That's kind of why you buy a PS5. So of course they're not going to put them on that service for free because it's like, well, this is our selling point.
Well, and I don't understand why Xbox buys. I mean, I understand why they buy all these companies like Bethesda and Activision and whoever else, because I mean, obviously it's money. They could expand their reach, right? But I don't understand why they buy Activision, who owns, I mean, they own Call of Duty, right? Which I know last year they launched like Black Ops 6 on Game Pass day one, and that was sort of a big deal for them. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't understand what look, this is all they would need to do to like get people into that ecosystem. All they would need to do is say for 1 month only, Black Ops 7 or whatever the hell's coming next is going to be on Game Pass only for 1 month. That's all they would have to do. Yeah. And those fucking junkies would jump over. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, they don't do that. I don't understand why they don't take advantage of these properties.
I think it's a matter of time. I think it is a matter of time and that they will do that. They're still riding this idea of like they're like gamer people, so that they want what's best for the gamer, and they're constantly bragging and toting that. But I think we'll see that deteriorate quickly.
We put Sea of Thieves on the PS5.
Yeah, no one asked for that.
What? Why?
Take it off. What are you talking about? What are you doing?
Get it out!
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just we'll see. But yeah, it's an interesting time for Xbox. Because they're definitely in a better place than they were 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
My God,
Yeah.
God. But it's still like what even is an Xbox? I guess that's like that's a whole other episode. What even is Xbox at this point?
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird to get one. It's
Yeah.
it's strange because like most of what I want to play is on the PC, and I already have a PC, so
Yeah.
don't really need a console. I do have one, but I bought it when it was like 300. I like the idea of a console, but it seems like they're kind of pushing you as far away from that as possible. So it's like, well, if that's what you want to do, then
Yeah.
I just won't get one. I don't know. That's an interesting conversation. That's kind of outside of this though.
Yeah, we can talk about that later at some point, but yeah. Yeah, let us know in the comments what you think of Game Pass, Terry's Day Out, and if you play. There's still some games I want to play. I didn't mention like Indiana Jones. Like I kind of want to play that. I haven't yet. Like there's So let me know if you think it's worth it, and if there's any games that we in general. If you want to recommend a Game Pass game, go right ahead.
Yeah,
We'll let you. We'll let you comment. We'll let you do it.
we'll turn on the comments for this one.
Yeah, we usually turn them off because we're so and everyone hates us.
Yeah.
But we'll keep them on for this episode.
Yeah, well, let's try it.
Yeah.
We'll try it.
Yeah. And if it hurts my feelings too much, I'll turn it.
Oh,
no.
Yeah. All right, thanks for watching.
Yeah, we usually don't go out this peacefully.
You're usually in a war.
Yeah.
Which side? Pick a side. That's how they do every war trailer.
Dude, I was thinking about this the other day. We should, for like a month, we should have a civil where it's me versus you. The viewers have to pick their side. Like, are you team Alex or team Spencer?
I mean, we essentially have the video concept of that already.
I do actual community events where it's like Team Alex versus Team Spencer. It's like a big who's gonna win.
That'd be interesting. We can workshop that. I'm sure we could find some. The problem is that we're not cool or popular enough to make that to give that legs. We maybe in 5 years when we hit 300 subscribers, maybe then we'll be big enough. People will be like, I want to see 294.
This. 294. In 5 years when we get 6 more subscribers.
Yeah. Look, I'm a hopeful guy. I'm trying to stay positive.
I'm just being realistic. Just being realistic, okay? If we get a subscriber every 2.5 years, we might make it.
That's not unreasonable. It's possible. Anyway, bye.